everyone, I'm Mrs. Evans, in case you don't know who I am. So I'm going to take us to our next mini lesson, the next thing that you're going to do in writing your adapted fairy tale. So hopefully yesterday you kind of made some changes in your notebook, thinking about your specific fairy tale and how you're going to change it. Thinking about, are you going to change the characters, how you're going to change the setting, and how the events are going to change. Because remember, Mrs. Montgomery told you yesterday, it's kind of like dominoes. So today what you're going to do is, if you have a blank piece of paper, and it can be a blank piece of copy paper, it can be a blank piece of notebook paper, any kind of paper that you have, and just fold it so it looks kind of like a little booklet. And so we're going to use this as a planning booklet, and we're planning 4 scenes today. And a scene is just kind of like a small moment. If you think about a story, it's made up of a small moment where the story begins, then it's made of some small moments where there's small problems happening to the character, we're kind of getting to know the character. Then there's a scene where there's a lot of trouble, the big problems happening to the character, and then the end is where we have the resolution and how the story ends. So you need to think about the same thing with your story, your adapted fairy tale. So all you're going to be working on today is sketching. Sketching is a great way to organize your ideas and to just get things kind of going. And you want to think about your story from the beginning all the way to the end. So in my story, I'm thinking about Cinderella, who is no longer Cinderella. She's a girl named Cindy, and she's at home folding some laundry, doing some work for her stepsisters who aren't very nice to her, and I don't know if you can see that really well. So do you see how I just made a sketch? And then all of a sudden, the doorbell rings, and someone's at the door, and they're yelling at Cinderella, "Go over and get the door, would ya?" And so she goes over and she goes to the door and she opens the door, and there is an invitation to a fundraiser for a new library that's coming to their town. So do you see how all I did was just think about my first scene, my first small moment, how I kind of want to get into the story, and I just made some quick sketches. So now what I'm going to do is go to the next page and think about, okay, well, what's going to happen next? This is maybe where, if you think about my classic tale, they're getting ready to go to the fundraiser, and poor Cinderella can't. She's just doing everything. So maybe in this scene, I'm going to be thinking about how the stepsisters are so excited to go to the fundraiser, and they can't believe that this is coming to their town, and they're so excited, and they just keep giving Cinderella all these tasks to do. So I'm just going to take my pencil and draw that out. And I'm going to continue through each one of those scenes until I get all the way to the end. Now tomorrow is where we're actually going to get a chance to do some drafting. So today is just about thinking about your whole story from beginning to end, drafting some scenes on a piece of paper and pictures, and then be ready for tomorrow, because that's when we'll get started drafting. Bye.